really want to drive this home so you can really understand that the Holy Spirit is the very presence of God, and it's equal to the Father, the Son, and the Father and Son are equal to the Holy Spirit. They're all equal. So you're saying that God sent himself back to live in us? So think of it this way. Adam and Eve lost the power when they sinned and came out of the garden. Christ, the second Adam, takes the power back from Satan that took it from Adam and Eve and then gives it back to us. And how does he give it back to us, Pastor? Well, when he sat down at the right-hand throne of God's temple and the Holy Spirit came out of heaven and went into Pentecost and shook up the whole world, and everybody received the Holy Spirit, every believer out there has the Holy Spirit living in them, but the Holy Spirit's been dormant because you didn't understand the power and authority that you have. I'm telling you, you can speak to situations, speak to problems, speak to difficulty. There's nothing impossible for you. That same power that Moses had when he held that rod up and opened the Red Sea, that same power you have. When your Red Seas are there, and a Red Sea being something that appears to be impossible, that doesn't have any way in or out, God can open up a door and believe. How does he do that? You hold that spirit inside of you with faith and hold his word up to the opposition. And it'll open doors that will close. It'll make a road in the wilderness. It'll give you water in the desert. And what that means is if financial difficulties come, he can provide what you need. If something comes in a relationship, he can turn that relationship around. If something comes in with your children, he can turn everything around. And the power is in you. I want you to know something. You have to be willing to let the Holy Spirit work through you so he can recreate you in Christ's image, and all those past things will be behind you, and you can press on towards the mark of the high calling. I'm telling you this, that there's something God has for you already in place, and it's irrevocable. That means if you messed up all your life and you finally come to Christ, his plan is never taken back. He never takes back what he has for you, and he's already made provisions for you. You know how he makes the provision? Because everybody that's a believer has the Holy Spirit living in them, and they each have different talents that are provisions for your talent to take you to that next level. So I want you to do this. When I tell you that nothing's impossible for you, I'm telling you all the possibilities of your impossibility are already in somebody else, and God will use them to help bring your vision to pass, because it's the plan and purpose that he has for your life. And no matter how many times you get knocked down, he's going to hurl you back up, and then he's going to place you on a firm foundation, confirm you to be what you're supposed to be. So I need you to do something. Put the past behind you. No matter what situation you're in right now, it doesn't matter. God's plan is still in place. It doesn't make any difference how many years you lost, or what age you are, or what you're going through right now. He's going to take something that's traditional and do it in an untraditional way so that you'll know that it's God. That's how you see signs, miracles, signs and miracles, signs and miracles. That's what you're supposed to see all the way through your whole entire life, God taking something and reversing it. But he can't do it if you don't understand that power's in you. Now, he says, Pastor, I need you to go a little bit further, because I want him to see what I have to do to recreate him, how I start the process. So I want y'all to just fasten your seatbelts on this one. When the Holy Spirit came and made his home in you, this is what he has to do to recreate you in the image of God, because the image of God through Christ. And when you get that image living on the inside, you can access every power, every authority that's in heaven is right down here waiting to move on your behalf. Now I want you to just bear with me for a second. Galatians 5th chapter, and I'm going to read verses 22 through 25 out of Amplified. It said, but the fruit of the Spirit, the result of his presence within us, is love, unselfish concern for others, joy, an inner peace, patience, not the ability to wait, but how we act while we're waiting, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. And those who belong to Christ have crucified the sinful nature together with its passions and appetite. And if we claim to live by the Holy Spirit, we must also walk by the Spirit with personal integrity, godly character, moral courage, and our conduct empowered by the Holy Spirit. So I want you to know something, that when you came to Christ and you're living in the world, you had what they call conditional love. But when Christ comes in, he takes out the old stony heart. Now, keep in mind that you're going to be under construction for a little while when you first come to Christ. You're going to have to mature and develop and continue to hear the word, and faith is going to come in. And in the meantime, the Holy Spirit takes out that old heart of stone and he replaces it with a new heart of love. I want to give you a definition of love so that people really can get this down in their heart. It's kind. It's not self-seeking. It records no wrongs, even when it's been wrong. And it never gives up, always has faith. Now, I want you to stop for a minute and think about it. That's the love that God had for you when he accepted you in his kingdom. And that's the love he's going to put in your heart so that you can accept others and you can forgive others and put the past behind you and then press on towards that mark of the high calling. In the process of that, the first fruit that's produced when you understand that it's God now living in you and you're no longer living through Christ, now you can say this: I can put the past behind me. I don't have to worry about what's going to happen tomorrow, for I know that he takes care of it tomorrow.